So with what's going on in the world at the moment, it's not easy to stay calm and resourced and present. But I tell you what, my Qigong practice has helped me for the last 25 years to recognize that place in me that is always still, always calm, and always present. It waits for me to return back to it. It's a central part of my energy makeup that I had no idea about. And as a moment to moment, day to day exploration, I come and go in relationship to it. I can get very pulled into the external, or I can get into dramas and stuff. But when left to my own devices, I come into my breath. I come into being quiet, being drawn back into that sweet spot. And that is a place that I would love to share with you and access to today. But just a brief overview of how I got to where I am today, yes, is that my original training was as a nurse. I then was a costume designer. And then from having repetitive strain injury, punishing repetitive strain injury, I gave up being a costume designer and looked into alternative healthcare and found Qigong through my cranial sacral therapist, Jed Sumner. Him and his colleague, Thalbert Allen, set up the College of Elemental Qigong in London in the early 2000s. And I did my 4-year training there. And John, who's coming on a bit later, he did his training there too. So that's how he and I know each other. And it was through a mutual conversation that we were having about how wouldn't it be lovely for Qigong teachers to have a place to support one another, but also for students to know where to go to see the range and variety of Qigong that is there. So I developed, well, the Qigong developed through me. It is such a response to the energy that's already here, that it's something that was a very private resource for me. It's not been easy to go live with this because it's such a personal exercise for me. Exercise, I don't know if that's quite the right word. It's such a personal exploration for me. But I do run online classes now through the Cheeky Temple on Facebook, CHIQITEMPLE. I also have a website, claraapollo.com, that looks like consciouslivingevents.co.uk. Everything is in flux and flow. I also set up a teacher training program in 2012 and have successfully drawn Qigong teachers out of Qigong players, and would love to look at how we can do this online. So I'm learning from those that are already doing this, but I'm also very much an in-person person. I do love to be in the room with people, but also I value what it is we are doing here via these marvelous machines. I am the co-founder of the Alliance of Tai Chi and Qigong UK, very interested in how we can get Qigong into mainstream, how it can synergize with other energy-based modalities as well as very standard ones. We can go from just looking at how the body sits, how the body moves, to how we feel with our breath, how we feel when we're standing, what we notice, go into full body listening. We can get into the spiritual aspects of it, the energetic aspects of it. This is multi-layered, and for me, I'm still finding it utterly fascinating, and I cannot wait to experience what my colleagues here are going to be sharing too, because I don't know what they're going to be doing, but I learn from each and every one of them. Every time we hang out with one another, we have really very interesting conversations. There's quite a lot of laughter as well as sort of depth and connection, and we just so want to share this with you. So OneQi came about well, first conversation was about a year ago, but in the summer it became something more than just a conversation. And really OneQi is here to help to increase the awareness of the healing power of Qigong and how you can do this for yourself. So this is the reason I got into Qigong, was to find a way to take care of myself that was more than Reiki. Don't get me started. It is also, OneQi is also a gateway for students to find teachers. How often have you thought, I'd love to start this practice, but I don't know where to begin? And you'll see a list of names and websites. Well, here at OneQi, on the OneQi, OneQi.org website, and also OneQi on YouTube, you will find everybody's been interviewed. which is brilliant because it means you get to see and feel the energy of this practitioner. So excited about this. I can feel my chi rising just even talking and sharing with you about it. We're also within the OneQi hub, which is what it's becoming, is we're going to be offering you top quality resources so that all the research that's going on to show us just how effective this is. I mean, we know we do the practice, but we're now needing to talk with more mainstream people to explain to them what is going on. And also it's just interesting, isn't it, to find out what is happening. Well, interesting for me. So this is our pilot session. This is the first time that we're doing this. So bear with us. There might be a few glitches and things, but we are hoping to bring you regular OneQi sessions. So without further ado, let's have a little look. See who's messaging me up on the live stream. And it's Ben and Jeremy, two of my colleagues. Thank you, mate. Thank you so much for being part of this. Absolutely. So can't wait to hear your story. So I thought I would start at the very beginning because I've been told it's a very good place to start. And I know that is too. So whenever I come into my practice, I stand. So I invite you to stand also. I'm going to signify the beginning of the session. Standing, settling. So standing in your WuQi structure, this is an A frame. Could go back all the way and you can see that, and then I'll come forward so that you have a broad base. Your toes are facing forwards. You've got a bit of ease in your ankles and your knees, and your weight is equal distance between the balls of your feet and your heels. Softening your belly as you take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, feel yourself surrendering to gravity and trusting the ground beneath you to hold you. And watch what happens. Feel what that is like when you surrender into that fundamental truth that Mother Earth is holding you. Now, back in the day when I took 7 weeks off in Austria to regroup and regain my practice, all I did every day was stand by the river. That's all I did. And it brought me back in to realizing, to opening my awareness to what is already here that's supporting me. And I think at this time of the year, particularly in this year, recognizing what true support feels like and acknowledging that which is already here is such a fundamental. So as we give thanks to Mother Earth for always supporting us, I ask you just to breathe into your belly again. And as you breathe out, feeling the weight in your legs and your feet spreading out onto the earth, maybe sense yourself rooting down into the earth with that exhalation in deep gratitude. The in-breath comes when it does, and letting your breathing just be easy, flowing. Just keep your belly relaxed. That's all I request of you at the moment. We don't try and change the breath. We just notice. And I know observing can change, but if you can just notice and ease. To me, this miracle of our physical bodies, you know, the breathing happens. We receive the breath. We exhale the gratitude for the breath. It's like, it's a miracle that we have these remarkable physical bodies that have energetic mapping within them and this deep internal alchemy potential within. But first and foremost, this rooting down to the earth with deep appreciation and gratitude, allowing your roots to travel down through all the different qualities, all the different layers, all this, the water in the earth, that moisture maybe coming across little pools of water in the earth, and bits of clay even, but your roots glide and slide down with such exquisite ease, going down towards the center of the earth to dock in with the power of the planet that is always there for you. One of the things that I do employ in my sessions is the use of sound. And the sound for the earth element is ooh. It's a spleen sound. So let's do 3 oohs. Ooh. I can sense the men with the deep voices doing this now. One more time all together. Settling. When you settle in and connect down, the channels that encourage discharge, that which is ready to leave your system, can open and flow down deep into the earth for transformation. The earth composts all our old energetic debris, creates space for us to receive new, fresh vitality. And that clearing tends to happen down the back of you, and you tend to receive up the inside of your legs to your dantian. So this is this special area in your belly. You might like to give it a little rub. It's quite nice rubbing your belly. Warming it up. Being intrigued by this area. So traditionally, the dantian elixir field is situated 2 fingers width down from the navel and 2 fingers width in. That is the 1 point. But letting your mind float down there as you warm the area up and feel your deep connection in with Mother Gaia. For as you let go, you become a receptacle to receive fresh vitality. So you may get a sense that from your sinking, there is a gentle receiving up into your legs, into your feet, into your legs, into all the structures of your legs, your bones, your nerves, your lymph, your blood vessels, everything receiving little tingles of chi. And every time you exhale, you sink down a little bit more into the ground, into the floor, and you feel that there's the sense of the basin of your pelvis holding the upper body. Now, this is a huge relief. Letting the upper body feel held. That is how that feels. And so from that deep sense of the power of the planet coming up into being received by you, you can more easily sink in and let the rising energy travel up your spine, up through the natural curves of your spine. You've got a bit of ease in the lower back, but you're up. So I'm kind of sitting here. It feels like I'm sitting here, but the energy will travel up the spine, up to the back of the neck, to the crown, and feel that silver filament drawing you up to the ceiling and into the sky, and up and up and up to the source of all there is, the great Tao. I like to imagine that I have a guiding star right above me, that my energy system connects in with, my starry nature, the cosmos, the multiverse. And that my sense is that energy, when you connect with it, dapples it, like it rains down in soft, powerful little light codes. And it's received into the system. It's something we recognize. And then merges with the earth element. But I'm getting into the internal alchemy, which is one of my fascinating topics. So just knowing that you receive energy from the earth and from the cosmos, and you dance between, it's like a miracle. But it's such another fundamental truth, right? It's what is going on all the time that you can plug into whenever you want and wherever you want. It's a free resource of unlimited natural energy. Boom. Yes. So let's get back to the structure. So this sense of being drawn up from the crown opens the back of your neck. So usually you tend to look up. That will squash the back of your neck. We have important energy gates at the top of the spine, so we want to keep them open so the brain can then be revitalized. Always good. And it also anatomically is better positioned for your head. You get this lengthening out of your neck and out of your shoulders. And your eyes sort of gaze down at about a 45-degree angle. So I'm hoping that's where the screen is for you right now. But if not, do your best. So when you set up your center line from this deep support of the earth, the shoulders, the dear shoulders that like to get involved with everything that we do, the shoulders are so close to the brain. Whenever the brain has an idea, the shoulders think, oh, I'll have a go at that. And it might not always be appropriate for the shoulders to have a go at that. So we're giving some space to the shoulders here. So as you breathe in next, draw the shoulders up, just gently, not too forced. And as you breathe out, let them go. Let the arms hang. This is not specifically Qigong, but it's one that you may well recognize. Drawing up on the in-breath. And out. Always do things at least 3 times, if not 9. And see that, just feel that the shoulders land where they do in right relation to your spine, because of course the anatomy, the internal architecture of the shoulders, the shoulder girdle is inextricably linked with your spine. And the arms can hang. Now just think how heavy your arms are, right? So letting the fingers twinkle and the wrist release and the elbows soften. But the weight of your arms and breathing into the shoulders, breathing out down the arms, letting the weight of the arms open the shoulder joints. Also open the energy channels of the arms. And if anything at all, just to add to this, letting your shoulder blades slide down almost imperceptibly towards one another in the back. Just have a very gentle presencing of your heart. But also there's a dive that's there too. But I won't go into too much detail, but that idea of being present with your heart energy as well as your belly. And standing in your OneQi. So this is the classic stance that you will find in all Qigong, wherever you go, and in Tai Chi as well. It's the presencing of yourself on the planet in correct alignment with the cosmic forces of gravity, as well as your internal architecture. So we're going to play with this a bit. We're going to play with our balance. But just before we do that, just letting yourself listen. And you might need to do little movements. There might be little flurries or like, oh, let yourself do that. You're not stuck here. This is a place that you can land back into. It's like home. It is your home. Dantian is your home. And it's a place where you move from, express from, and then return back to. And every time you come back in, something will have shifted. Something will change. Just noticing how your feet feel, Can you wiggle your toes? How are your ankles and knees? Just making sure the knees haven't gone into lock. You don't have to overly bend unless that's comfortable for you. You certainly want to be sitting to open the lower back. We've got an important energy gate at the base of the spine, pretty much the base of the spine, called the Ming Men, you might have heard of. When we sit and open, that increases the energy into this place, or opens that energy gate that then supports your kidneys. Now, the water element is where we're really at in Chinese medicine at the moment, and it's what I'm right in myself. In fact, this morning I was feeling so cave-like. It was like, what am I going to share with you today? I just feel like standing in my cave and maybe lying down a bit. And then as we got talking, the energy started to move, and it was like, yeah, that is how I'm going to start, because you know what? No matter what time of year it is, I always begin with the earth supporting me, and the water within the earth and the water within me resonating with the rhythm of my breath and the wave of my breath, my connection to the cosmos. And then I wait. Creating space for yourself to be is so deeply healing. You're giving your attention to yourself. And come out of busy beta brainwave and sympathetic nervous system overdrive and into a more chilled out alpha rhythm. Your brain and the parasympathetic nervous system can come on board. You're using your energy to heal and be, not do an action. You are superpowered. Just letting yourself land in the now moment to experience that potential. So whichever part of your body is speaking to you now, might be a shoulder or a lower back or a belly ache or whatever, just send it love. Just say, I've noticed you. Thank you for opening the conversation with me. Appreciate that. We're going to unwind some stagnation now. So what we do with Qigong is clear the joints and around the body organs so that the Qi can flow more naturally. Because once that happens, you are a self-healing unit. Duh. I mean, exactly. Who tells you this? The body self-heal. Yes. Yes, I know. It always excites me that that's such a fundamental truth that is overlooked by, yes, mainstream media. Anyway, let's get back into how this feels for you here, listening to the odd ache, pain, grind. If your legs aren't enjoying standing, you can do a little bit of shaking or turning. I mean, this is what we explore in all of us here with my colleagues in OneQi. I think we're all doing online sessions now, so we'd go more deeper into areas like this, and then one-to-one as well. You would get to unravel, unwind specifically what is right for you. But here we're giving you a taster of what it's like over in the Qi camp, in the OneQi camp. Wouldn't that be great if we did a OneQi camp in the summer? Oh, yes, yurts all around. Love it. You see, when you come into spaciousness, that which wants to be can breathe through you into the world. So those streams of thought that I just shared with you then just came through. I didn't think, oh, I'm going to tell you about that. It was just a natural response to the energy here. And I can feel you all watching and on the replay. And I can feel my colleagues here waiting, going, what's she going to do next? Or trusting that what I'm doing is in alignment with what you're doing. We all recognize these elemental truths within us. And we steady back into Qi. We empty out of the old, we create space to receive the new. It really is as simple as that. But in order to assist stagnation flow, we're going to do a movement, and we'll come back to stillness. So let's just do a very simple gesture. Turn the length of the arms so the palms face forwards, and feel that opening connection of the center of your palms as we say hello to one another energetically here in the Qi field. Imagining us all standing around in a circle, acknowledging each other, smiling on the inside. And then let the center of your palms, this magical place called the Lao Gong or pericardium 8, it's the healing chakra on your palms. Let it feel attracted into the dantian, that one point that we were talking about. And for women, it's our right hand that comes on first. For you chaps, it's the left. That's going to be a discussion point in one of our topics, I know, but let's just go with the tradition here. So letting the first hand come in and let the center of the palm dock in with your belly into that dantian place. So you have an energetic line up there. And then the second hand comes over and forms that three-way. Connect in now, my friends. How is that feeling? Deeply connected to the earth, releasing that which is ready to go, receiving new refreshment, gathering it in the dantian, your reservoir of unstoppable energy, the place that we go to and resource first and foremost, for it is a lake of qi that will then serve the extraordinary meridian lines and support the other dantians. This is always a place to go to resource, but feeling this energy here, this is you standing in your power. So the sacral chakra and the dantian, very, very linked. Again, another topic for a OneQi conversation, I'm sure. This is your center of creativity. Hence why when we relax into it, we acknowledge that we are essentially creative beings. Yes, all of us are. So let us just begin to notice on the inside there, that one point, that center of your dantian. I'd like you to imagine it as a bead of light. That is balanced and calm, but also energized with potential. The yin-yang effect, both and total Taoist stuff. If the mind doesn't understand, you know you're onto something. So you come into experience and you begin to let that little bead of light circle in an anti-clockwise direction, a very small way on a horizontal plane, deep within you, at a gentle pace, spiraling out, clearing, resourcing, kinding you from the inside, until the physical body cannot resist a gentle movement of turning around your hips, letting your center lead the way to find the level and pace that suits you right now. It's so beautiful, this practice, because it encourages you to work with what feels good and then gets you to keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it. And this is a movement that I do daily. I used to have a real bad lower back problem and a knee problem and an ankle problem. And this gentle unwinding from that internal perspective, it joins the inside with the outside and gives you I think a deeper way of releasing and then receiving. So as you're turning around the hips, you're moving on the water at the end, the synovial fluid, which is clearing any detritus down the legs, deep into the earth, down, down, down. You may notice your knees also playing here and your ankles and the weight rolling around your feet. I'd usually do this about 50 times, but on replay, you could stop and do this 50 times, but I've got some wonderful colleagues waiting to share with you what they've got going on, and we are on a little bit of a time zone here, so I'm trying not to go too timeless on you. Qigong does that. You go into Kairos time with Qigong. It's so brilliant. So we do need to go the opposite direction. So rather than changing direction really quickly, because you've got a nice flow going here, haven't you? I want you to imagine the yin-yang symbol, which is handily just behind me here. See that center line, that squiggle, that S shape? If you can move through that to change direction, then you keep the flow and the swirl as you introduce the clockwise direction of unwind. And you may well need to take that back to a smaller exploration to see how that feels in this direction. Again, the center is leading, so when in doubt, go back to your little light beam bubble that's rolling round anti-clockwise, clearing, easing, soothing, gently energizing, freeing up, finding your flow. Now, this is the preparation for Qigong, really. It's the warm-up movements from a Qigong perspective. And I know that Alessandro's coming up, and Ben and John, they're going to be building on this and sharing with you some of their Qi key moves. So just to complete this one, we're going to go back to a bit of internal alchemy and gathering. So from this physical movement of unwinding, we're going to take our minds back into that circling light bubble and begin to draw that in, spiral that in, spiral it in. And as it spirals in, the light gets stronger and deeper and easier until it finds a centered space to stop in. Now, this is your sweet spot. You need to breathe into here. Own it. Own this feeling of perfect balance and calm and resource for this moment. Let this feeling spread up into your kidneys, into your lungs, to your heart, to your spleen, to all your body organs. Receive calm, balanced energy from the belly into all your bones, up the length of your spine, into your brain. Down your arms, and down your legs. And here in this sweet spot of magic, I'd like to invite you to place a wish that is very dear to your heart. And breathe that wish into your heart. As you breathe out, plant it in your belly, plant it in that one spot, that light beam. Feel yourself connected deeply with Mother Gaia. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, letting the hands release. Little shake, bring the feet together, arms up above the head, palms down, little prayer gesture, giving thanks to all of you here on the live and on the replay. This has been me, Clara Chi, sharing some fundamental Qigong with you, building up my Qi flow so that I can offer you extra from the overflow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So now we're going to open up the mics with my colleagues and come into a little chat before who's coming up next. Hey guys.
Hi, Clara. Hi, Clara.
Yeah, I could see you all joining in the background. Thank you so much for supporting me doing that. Really appreciate your presence and your engagement.
Brilliant, thank you.
Beautiful, thank you. It's going to be really nice as well, just to have you guys as an audience as well. You know, I could feel that interaction with you in there as well. Just being able to kind of share that space and connect with you in that. And that is what I love about Qigong. Just even the simplest things, just feet on the earth, just standing. You know, and there's wealth in all of it. Thank you.
Exactly. Yeah. Anything else? Anybody got anything is that something that you do yourselves? Is that a movement that you do?
Not in that way within Life Force Qigong. It's we work with the movements in the feet and within the standing in similar ways, but just doing that horizontal spiraling as you were doing there, that was beautiful. I've not worked that before, and I love that, using the yin yang symbol to move yourself into the opposite direction. You know, very, very potent stuff.
Cool. God, I can't wait to see what you're going to share that's going to inspire me. You know, this is why the OneQi is so rich. We are having such fun in here, sharing with each other and going, oh yeah, I knew that little bit, but I hadn't thought of it from that angle. Or yeah, it's real magic, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Nowadays, there's so much thinking going on and worrying, and even mindfulness, you know, conceptually is great, but often it's up here, and the grounding, you know, the grounding is such a key to starting our health practice, because the mind can always go off anytime, anywhere. And I'm sure we've all met people amazing at meditating, but they can't live in this world, you know, in a grounded, present way. And so that's what I love about Qigong. A lot of people come to it, I think, because they want to feel this connection to the earth. And one of my favorite quotes is Thich Nhat Hanh. I'm sure you know it, most of you. You know, the miracle is not walking on water, it's walking on the earth.
And as you were saying that, I was feeling it's that awareness of letting yourself be present and expand into that. And it's like we are being so called into the now moment with what's going on in the external society, but actually is that us actually calling us into the now moment because of the awareness of what is already here. I mean, we are all standing on a planet with amazing energy in it, you know. I mean, and it's only one of those things, we breathe in the air through our lungs that do it whether we think about it or not. So when we presence this, it expands and becomes a much deeper resourcing experience for us. And I think with the monkey mind, as you were talking about, Alessandra, it's like giving the mind something to consider that is of interest. Your curiosity is piqued, which keeps it going, oh yeah, that is very interesting, okay. Helps it. That's what I find anyway. That's when I first came into my training. The word mindfulness wasn't mainstream by then, but that's what it taught me, was coming out of busy moving forwards or talking about the past. It's like, what is this now moment then? Yeah. What do we do with it? The ground, connection, the stillness, the honoring, and then the healing occurs. So simple, so simple.
Quite interesting for me because obviously we've trained with the same place, and I haven't done this type of stuff or I haven't done this style for many years because I've started using a different form, which we'll explore later. So you're talking about the present moment, and it was just right back in where I started, which was sort of in the past, which is not where you should be. But actually, it was fascinating because I think it's always good to go back to that beginning place, because there's such richness in these really simple forms. There's such richness in this simplicity that we have a tendency to go, done that, ticked it off, next. And coming back to the beginning is such a powerful thing to do. And it's amazing. I've got people coming in regularly saying, do you take beginners? And I was like, yes, all the time, because beginners, people who've not done the work before, ask the best questions, have the best insight. So when you get old and jaded like us, when you get jaded like us, I'll drop the old bit. No, it's really easy to get stuck in your ways. And this is one of the joys of OneQi, is that by interacting, by all coming together as equals, we aren't getting stuck in our ways. We're finding that space. And I think that's really valuable. So thank you. Thank you for dragging me back to the past.
You're so welcome. It's this being in the exploration. You know, we've all come into our WuQi time and time again, and it's never boring. It's just never boring to me. It's like, what's it going to have for me today? It might take me a while to get in there to play some music or whatever, but it's always like, oh, you know, and there's that honoring of the self, honoring of the physical vehicle, and then the soulful inhabitant that is there. You know, it's like, it's beautiful. It's great. Anyway, we could chat forever, like we have been known to, but now I'd like to invite one of you to take the OneQi helm, or OneQi mic. Oh, Alessandro has got his hand up, so we're going to hand it over to you, mate.